Good morning, Dubai, and welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through all the trending stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about. Driverless taxis in Dubai by the end of this year. Are you going to be getting on one?
Definitely not. And we'll also be talking about there's a Dubai version of the Tinder Swindler who just got sentenced to 4.5 years in the UK court.
We're also talking about some nasty people out there. That's right, there are scalpers selling Coldplay tickets for 2,000 dirham and how you can avoid being a victim of that scam.
And some tremendous news. Dubai plants over 170,000 more trees across the city.
And later in the show, we're going to be joined by a 38-year-old resident who was actually diagnosed with a brain tumour, and he wants to thank UAE Health Services because he's thankfully on the mend. But before we get into it all, yesterday was Valentine's Day. Did you celebrate? Or do you think it's a complete waste of time, a complete waste of money, and you're so glad the day is over? What are your thoughts?
You sound quite passionate about the second one.
Do I?
Yeah. But I know you don't. I mean, you're more for the first one.
I think it's a day to celebrate love, and we talked about it yesterday, love in any way, shape, or form. But we had Heba on the show yesterday, and she made a very valid point that it can be a sad day for so many people.
Yeah.
I think it depends how you look at it, but it's definitely over-commercialized.
100%. And I think what over-commercializes it is how we started the show yesterday, for sure.
Yeah. But and also we shared...
And the gifts.
And the gifts. And we shared this rant that a Lovin Dubai follower on Instagram shared. So Amr Lima Sabeh, he basically put a rant up. And this is why Valentine's Day is annoying. Because his rant was basically like he woke up in the morning and every second person was like, oh, Bae got me this, Bae got me that, I love you, Bae. And his rant goes on to be like, buy something useful, buy a house, which is the totally end of the spectrum. But at the same time, so we had a big rant. So we put up a question, are Valentine's gifts a waste?
Yeah, so 71% of you guys are like, yes, it is a waste. And 29 are like, no, we love them. So I'm the 29%.
Love gifts.
I feel like, I mean, it's the same thing, right? You celebrate love. How do you celebrate? Sometimes you show appreciation.
Gift.
Why not? Like, but the pressure is always on the men. That's the thing. Like, most of the times, you're like, what is the guy doing for you? What is your boyfriend? What is your husband? What is your dad? What are they doing? You know, but it can, if it's like an equal thing, like the women do as much for the men and vice versa, then it's like cute. I don't know. And it's like you can gift your siblings, parents, pets like you did.
Yeah, exactly. It was my dog Goose's second Valentine's Day, so we got her a big fat bone. Oh, she's so cute. So cute, eating her bone. Oh. But we don't always get her a big bone. And I was like, it's Valentine's Day, I love you, so I'm going to do something cute for you.
Exactly.
So
that's the sentiment. You don't always do it. You don't always show. So that one day when you celebrate the people around you and like all your loved near and dear ones, that's when you get them a gift.
But I do 100% see his point is valid in terms of I think it's a day for love, 100%. However, social media goes too far. So when you see all these things, and I definitely turned on Instagram, and there's some really, really adorable updates, but at the same time, you're like,
am I missing out?
It's bittersweet for everyone else. Like people are like, oh, my love is a fairy tale, and you're like, oh, should love be a fairy tale? But I don't think my love is a fairy tale, but it's still pretty good. You know what I mean? But it makes you question, and
that's true.
That can lead to, I guess. Yeah, that's just what social media does, right?
And then you feel kind of crummy when you don't get anything. And just like, oh, but it's the norm to get something. I get, both sides are valid. Neither side is wrong. What are you doing, Casey?
I'm sorry. I'm just texting my mom. I was opening up Instagram to see your comments. I wanted to see if you had thoughts on it.
Moving on.
Let's move into our first story. Driverless taxis will be on the streets of Dubai by the end of this year, by the end of 2022. So this is crazy, and it's actually happening. His Highness Matar Al Tayar, who of course is the Director General, Chairman of the Board of Executive Directors of the RTA, he announced that the start of trials and preparations of these digital maps so cruise autonomous vehicles can hit the streets of Dubai by 2022 have begun. I know.
That's it.
Dubai will be the first global platform for launching cruise origin cars, and Dubai will also be the first city to operate these vehicles outside of the US.
Now, this will be a vehicle dedicated to shared driverless transport. In 2023, a limited number of cruise autonomous vehicles will be deployed with a plan to increase the number of deployed vehicles gradually to reach 4,000 vehicles by 2030. And now this initiative enhances Dubai's pioneering role in self-driving transport.
And it's also an important step towards realizing the Dubai Smart Self-Driving Transport Strategy, which is aimed at transforming 25% of total mobility journeys in Dubai into journeys on self-driving transport modes by 2030. So this is another little step to make it happen. You know, we've been talking about this kind of move towards autonomous driving for quite some time, and now we're seeing the very real process of it rolling out, which is creating those digital street maps that these autonomous vehicles will follow.
That's insane. Would you get in one? A self-driving car, taxi?
When it is RTA approved, tried and tested by lots of people, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Roll with the times.
Roll with the time. I just prefer the human interaction. I've said this like so many times before, but there's so many things. It's like you want that human touch.
You said you prefer the human interaction, but before the show, you also made a very valid point.
That I prefer flying taxis over self-driving taxis. If we had the choice, you know.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty cool. I think we'll see both on the streets. I think there's plan for both, and eventually in Dubai. But isn't it so cool that we're like very much at the forefront of all of this?
It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie.
But like if I like transported myself to so many other cities or like where I grew up, like we're not even close. And Dubai is so progressive and so innovative.
So true.
Like how soon it will be before they're actually being used among the public for like your Uber, we don't know, but the fact that we're moving there, and obviously the benefits of these are quite strong. So of course for sustainability, also one of the points, human errors are responsible for 90% of accidents, which of course is probably obvious because we're using our phones and things, but still, autonomous vehicles are environmentally friendly, and they can serve a number of customers who may not be able to drive, for example, senior citizens and people of determination. So there's a lot of pros there for the implementation of these.
It's so crazy. It's like when you come into Dubai, it's like you're living in 2050, you're living in the future, and then you go back home and just like, you know, I've traveled back in time. That's what I personally feel like, because Dubai is just so futuristic, smart, everything, convenience, everything's online, and then you just go back and you're waiting in queues, and it's like all paperwork and documents, and just like, what's happened? I've literally traveled back in time.
It's the getting your petrol filled up from your home via an app for me. That's me living in the future, and that's as far as my brain can take me. I can't really get any further than that. But I think that's like one of the cool things I always tell people at home
about the fuels coming to your place.
Yeah, but isn't it classic? As soon as I get my driving license, they introduce driverless cars. Anyway,
what's happening on that forefront, Casey, when you're getting a license?
I've been trying to book my RTA test, for like 3 weeks at this point, and it's proving a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Yeah.
But this is the final test.
No, I have parking and then final test. So you're going to hear about this for another 6 months, I'm sure.
No, I don't think so. But like 2 more tests, we're getting
there. Literally, I've been trying to book a test for 3 weeks, and I'm sure I'm going to fail parking a couple of times. So
no, practice. You have so many people around you who have cars. Just practice a bit. You literally do. Anyway, we'll move on to our next story. There's a Dubai version of the Tinder swindler who just got sentenced 4.5 years in the UK court. Now, there has been much talk about the person alleged in the documentary Tinder Swindler that released only a few weeks ago on Netflix. And it's all about how the man continues to live a free life despite reportedly scamming women with the promise of fictitious luxury lifestyles. Now, such is the story for a British swindler who managed to scam a Dubai expat woman for 15 months straight, leading her to fund 700,000 dirhams worth of his lifestyle. Now, according to Khaleej Times, Richard Dexter, a 38-year-old British expat, has been sentenced to 4.5 years in jail by the UK court, convicted by the Portsmouth Crown Court. Now, the sentencing came following the complaint made by the Indian expatriate who said she was lied to by Dexter, who claimed he was a successful businessman on the verge of receiving a windfall, and they met on dating app Tinder.
Oof. Ouch. It's amazing that the Tinder Swindler has brought more of these stories to the forefront to warn us all against the possible lies being shared with us on dating apps. Part of the lies the man told the woman was that he owned private jets and that he had more than 20 million in an investment account, none of which were true. Dexter had initially spoken to the woman back in 2015 on Tinder. They started a relationship which actually blossomed, after which he persuaded her to lend him capital to begin producing for a piece of scientific equipment called a bioreactor paddle. And your guess is as good as mine as what that actually is.
Now, during the 15 months that they dated, the woman had transferred payments continually while nothing was returned. Now, following excuses made by Dexter every time he had requested more funds. This was when the woman reported Dexter to the UK police, and he also made the promise of paying her back in with interest. But honestly, these stories, they make you take a step back and just give you a reality check, right? Because everything is getting so superficial around you. It's like you just think of luxury and, you know, designer stuff, and then when you see all of it, like, you feel like you're in a fairy tale, like you're getting everything you've ever imagined or everything you think you want. And then this happens, and you hear stories of this, stories like this, and you're just like, wait, luxury, I mean, like, this is not everything. Money is not everything.
And you need to do your due diligence when you stalk people online, when you first meet them. That's what I've learned from this. No, because but the whole thing is, in the original Tinder Swindler Netflix story, they did stalk him, and then he turned out to be, like, apparently he was allegedly part of this famous Israeli diamond, like, family. Yeah. So the stalking did not prove fruitful. But then it also makes me think, so this guy allegedly had private jets, and you know that in the States you can go and rent a private jet photo shoot. Oh. So people do that, and you think it's because of influencers want to look like they're living their best lives, but actually no, this is, like, if that's what you're doing, you're literally scamming people to believe you live this luxurious lifestyle, which is not true. The internet is a scary place. Be vigilant. It's so scary, honestly. Is that what we've learned? Be vigilant. For sure. And just don't lend money. Don't follow, don't look for that kind of fairy tale prince story, because that's probably not going to happen. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, honestly, like, it broke my heart seeing these women, like, just their stories in the movie, and then, like, hearing of someone in Dubai, or, like, amongst us who suffered the same thing. It's really sad. And just the amount, like 700,000 dirhams. It's unimaginable. I'm really glad you used the word suffer there, because these women are victims at the same time. Yeah. And what we've seen is that with the Tinder Swindler story, some of the original reaction to these women was like, how could they be so stupid? But no, there's people literally deceiving them. There's like, and we say, yeah, you should like do your due diligence, but at the same time, if someone's literally trying to deceive you, how can you... And they be the best version of themselves, like, in terms, and not just terms of, like, materialistic things, but also personality-wise. You feel like they're your soulmate, you get along with them so well. And it's like, it's not over the course. For this woman in specific, it was over 15 months. So it's like a long time in the making. So I'm sure in a way he built her trust up, and this is the thing. Yeah, you know, took her out, just made her feel like a princess, and then... And that too, you invest in so many things, right? You invest in yourself, invest in... So I think for women, you would also think you're investing in love, you're investing in that, right? So you don't expect to get conned this way. Let's just hope more of these stories don't come out of the woodwork. I mean, Instagram comments say otherwise, but yeah, hopefully not. Let's jump into our next story. Another scam, unfortunately. Scalpers are selling Coldplay tickets for 2,000 dirham. As you guys know, today is the day Coldplay is playing at the Al Wasa Plaza at Expo, and we are buzzing. I'm going there later. Apparently, gates are at the specific Al Wasl Dome. They open at 5 p.m. Of course, there are 3 screens at Expo which you can go to, which you don't need specific tickets for. They're going to have big screens, and like, you'll be able to hear the audio. It will be amazing. And they're going to be playing at Jubilee Park, Dubai Millennium Amphitheatre, or Festival Garden. So if you head to those places, they'll have big screens. It's going to be massive, and of course some nasty scalpers are capitalizing on the massive astronomical demand for tickets. So we've seen in the last 2 days tickets going from 300 to 2,000 available on secondary selling sites. Now we've already got the information from Expo that they suggest mightily to not purchase these tickets. A scalper could use the same QR code on one or the other, but it's just crazy to see the prices are just driving up and up and up.
Yeah.
And they could be fakes.
Yeah, I'm sure so many. And that's what happens at every concert. Like, this is nothing new, right? Whenever any concert happens, this is the same scam that rolls out. People take it and they sell it in the black and they increase the price. And then you go in with that ticket and it's not valid. Someone else has used it. It's like, we're not new to this kind of scam. So it goes without saying. It's like a no-brainer. Just don't go for these tickets. And plus, they're so expensive.
So excited. And can we just say, by the way, just a small thing about the Expo and Coldplay concert. It is so amazing that Coldplay are coming, and part of your free tickets, some people got to get tickets. And we're aware that there was obviously drama. I was one of these people trying to get tickets online at the time, and there was maintenance issues. But of course, like, this is just part of the course. When there's a massive concert, people are trying to get tickets, you wait, and there's a waiting list, and sometimes you don't get them. But the fact that some people were able to get nearly free tickets to see Coldplay provided by Expo is just phenomenal. Like, I can't get over it. Like, and it's just because I've seen negativity online about, why was this not organized better? And people were saying that they should have done the tickets in a different way. How? Like, they put tickets on release. There was massive demand, so there was schedule maintenance issues. And some people, I know 2 people messaged me, they were waiting online. They waited, and it went through for them. So people got their tickets. And for people to complain about it, it's like, no, this is an amazing opportunity. And just because you didn't get it, and some people did, like, that's... And I know I'm going, so I know I'm going, so it's a whole other... Maybe it's not fair for me to say it, but I was one of the lucky people who, Mahika, I said yesterday, she managed to get them and she got 4, so she's giving them to me. But like, yeah. But I still, like, I just think it's amazing that it's there. So why are we complaining? We should just be like, okay, next time.
I am never complaining about Expo in front of Casey in my life after this ever. I'm shaking right now.
Why?
But it's true. I think I'm gonna cry.
I can't remember what I said now. Was it?
No, it was just, I don't know why, but it's like, whew. That was, you had that stored up for some time, no?
Well, you see a lot of negativity on these posts towards, sometimes towards management. And it's like, well, what do you expect? There's, we're so lucky that when concerts come, they're usually massive arenas and there's heaps of tickets available. But in other countries, it's like sell out. Someone compared it to Glastonbury and, people are on waiting lists from the year before for these tickets.
Oh my God.
So the fact that, we waited for an hour and you may not have got tickets, like, it's not an organizational nightmare at all. This is literally what happens.
This is literally privilege in Dubai. Like, people are so used to just getting exactly what they want, when they want, and that too ASAP.
That's a strong statement.
Privilege?
Yeah.
We're both on the same page. Just like, you have strong emotions for this, but I second that.
And I just think there was astronomical demand on the night. We had numbers where, we're not fully sure on 100% of the numbers, but they say hundreds of thousands of people were online.
Casey being one.
And yeah, of course, I was online on my laptop and my phone, so I was 2. And the website crashed, and I just think, but these things happen.
If you deserve it, you deserve it. Casey deserved it. She's going tonight.
I didn't deserve it.
Fingers crossed.
At all. I was just lucky.
But
didn't deserve it.
One amazing news to another tremendous one. Dubai plants over 170,000 more trees across the city. Now, Dubai really is out there, being in the middle of the desert, saying, "Birch, please." Now, following tremendous efforts, Dubai municipality has planted over 2.83 million square meters of green areas in the city last year by planting more than 170,000 trees in various locations, as well as along roads and squares citywide. Now, talking more on this incredible environmental feat, His Excellency Dawood Al-Hijri, Director General of Dubai Municipality, said Dubai Municipality has been working to significantly increase green areas in the Emirate and intensify horticultural work and all main and secondary roads as well as residential areas to make Dubai a green and sustainable city and enhance people's quality of life and happiness. The landscaping work also supports the objectives of the Dubai 2040 Urban Master Plan to expand green areas in the city.
And the municipality is putting the focus on planting local trees, such as the gaff and cedar, as well as trees that are able to withstand the salinity of the UAE soil, which is very, very interesting. And Al-Hajari explained that we aim to intensify and diversify the planting of trees in open desert areas by using local species that can tolerate Dubai's climate, which in turn will enhance our ability to combat climate change. In the next phase, the municipality will aim to implement several landscaping and beautiful projects in various areas across Dubai via artificial intelligence technologies, which is on a whole other level again. However, I think this is amazing. I think that we sometimes, sometimes there's beautiful setups on roundabouts and things. I love the fact that they're doing local trees that can withstand the climate, therefore less water needed, better for the environment, and also just enhancing green.
Yeah, exactly. Just the beautification projects rolling out citywide, and we can see it like happening. It's not like it's happening very subtly. No, it's like you wake up the next morning and it's just the whole area has transformed. So it's incredible. And that too, how much they are using artificial intelligence to just enhance the city in so many different kind of sectors and fields. It's incredible.
Yeah, I do always that you see foliage as you drive, and I've always questioned the amount of water that's needed for it, and I'm like, is that right? But I think the fact that they are using AI to figure out where to plant what better and using local trees, because like you said, they withstand the climate. I think it's amazing and so needed. And I love trees. I love greenery. I'm so basic.
No, I think it's everyone, and the vision is just spectacular. Like we're in the desert, and this is what you're seeing around you is happening and just blossoming in the desert. So it's incredible.
That is it for us, but stay tuned because very, very shortly we're going to be joined by Mikey, who's had a traumatic experience in the last year. He has survived brain surgery and he's here to tell the story. We're very lucky to have him on the show, so do stay tuned. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. We're now joined by someone who's been through a traumatic experience in the last year. He has survived brain surgery after being diagnosed with a tumour and has come out the other side stronger, and now wants to take the time to thank heroes who have helped him. Welcome to the show, Mikey.
Thank you so much, Casey.
Not at all. You have a story to tell. But before we get into that, let's do a quick intro about who you are, what you do, what are your passions, what do you enjoy? I want to know you.
Okay, well, first of all, hello, whoever's watching out there. Nice to meet you all. I'm Mikey. I'm from South Africa. I've lived in the UAE for probably about 15 years in total. I grew up here from 95 till 2000, and I left and I came back about 8 years ago. And then I've had the opportunity to travel to the world, so I'm very multicultural in a way. I've had the opportunity to meet people who speak many languages of different races, different religions. So I'm quite comfortable in rooms of different people because I've had the opportunity to meet many people.
And is Dubai your home now?
Yeah, Dubai is my home. It's funny actually. Since about the age of 18, when my parents left here, we went to live in England, and I spent pretty much 15 years trying to find out where I was belonged. And then I moved back to Dubai in 2013, and I've never left.
So it's a tale that many of us follow after being here for so long. Yeah. So let's say in the last year or two, tell us a little bit about the medical experience that you've had.
So the medical experience, actually, it's kind of, some people don't know this. So for my close friends who are watching, I apologize that I didn't tell you the truth. But basically about 2.5 years ago, I started to struggle with severe headaches and a little bit of loss of consciousness. So I went to the hospital, and they kind of, what was going on is that there was something in my brain that was releasing a chemical in my body that was forcing me to be thin all the time. So to all my PT friends, thank you so much for calling me skinny. Mike, thanks for being supportive. No, I love them. They know I'm kidding. And then basically, so I got given some medication to try and counteract the chemical that was being released in my body. And then that was about 2 years ago, just over 2 years. So I've been taking the medication for.
And how bad was it at that point? Because I know people suffer from headaches and I know people who suffer from migraines. So what point were you like, I need to go to the hospital to get it checked out? And did you go to a doctor first and they were like, you're fine? Or how did that
No, I went directly to Rashid Hospital. I had an idea because my uncle actually, which ironically his name is Andrew and my second name is Andrew, he went through this exact same thing, but unfortunately he didn't make it through it. So once I realized that there was something wrong with my head, I was like, okay, hang on a second, I need to be a bit serious about this. Because usually if I hurt my leg or bump my knee or whatever it is, I never take it serious. My mother used to have to drag me to the hospital. So they started to give me medicine, and then about 2 months ago, maybe a bit more, I started to struggle a bit more. It started to get harder.
So a year after, a year later?
Yeah, no, 2 years later,
2 years
basically.
later.
So during the 2 years, what happened was that the headache started to get worse and my fatigue started to catch up with me. But I tried to ignore it because I have a full-time job and I have full-time university. I study psychology. I didn't have time to be struggling. So I just smashed every day and carried on. And then it started sort of caught up to me. And on the 12th of November last year, just a couple of months ago, I was giving a talk in university on the importance of animal-assisted therapy and how it can help psychologists with their patients. And I remember saying to my professor, I was like, hey, professor, can I sit down? He's like, no. And I love my professor to bits. He's like my granddad. And he always wants to dig in to ask questions to see if I know more, like I really know what I'm talking about. And that's the last thing I remember. I remember flashes of stuff, like actually, I remember this 18-year-old girl or 19-year-old girl. For some reason, the seizure that I had that day, it constricted my throat and I couldn't breathe. And I was surrounded by great people, but here's this 18-year-old or 19-year-old girl that comes out of class, grabs my head, puts it back, fingers down the throat, and just forces me to release my stomach, is a nice way of saying it, and got me breathing. And she didn't do it once, she did it twice. So shout out to Carmen, thank you so much. She is literally one of the reasons that I'm sitting here today.
How did she know
I
what
have
to
no
do?
idea, but I always joke around with her and call her the gangster psychologist.
Yeah.
Because she's just really strong-minded like that. And sorry if I'm shaking, by the way, it's the hormones that are going through my body.
It's totally fine.
And anyways, then I ended up going to hospital. So shout out to actually UAE government as well, because when I arrived in hospital, I've had tests many times in my life for my brain, but I've never had them done so quickly as I've had them done here. The second I arrived into the hospital, they took an MRI scan and they found a tumor in my brain. Now, waking up in hospital and then being shown a picture of your brain, thinking, I'm a healthy person. I'm a PT, well, like I'm a part-time PT. I do a lot of sporty stuff. And then they show you this picture of your brain with this big white circle in it and say, you have a supracellular tumor that's actually stuck behind your pituitary gland. So your pituitary gland is pretty much a gland behind your nose, you could say. And that's what pulls all the strings for your hormones and chemicals in your body. So the reason I've been experiencing all this kind of emotional drama, you could say, is because this tumor has been growing behind the pituitary gland. So it's just been plucking my pituitary gland, and that's where all this has come from. And
I hope we're not putting you under pressure with questions.
Oh no,
today.
like honestly, to be honest, since I've been through this, people have reached out to me. So shout out to you guys who reached out to me. Shout out as well to, well, no, I don't mean to shout out, but there are people going through what I'm going through right now who have reached out to me. And I never realized how big the circle was. It's like, yeah, it's really surprising actually.
Well, that's why I think it's always so important to share these stories, because I think the most powerful thing, you're like, well, I'm healthy, so how can this be happening to me? But it happens to people. And you said you've had scans on your brain before. You were aware of your brain for 2 years that you're having issues. So when they showed you that tumor, this might be a stupid question, but how long does it take for these to grow? Has that been growing and no one was aware?
No. So actually, this is the funny thing. This is why I everyone, when it happened, everyone told me I should go back home, I should go to here to get all the operations done. And I was like, no way, because I've had issues with my brain before, and no one, no matter what country I've been in, I was in 3 different countries where I was having checkups. No one took a scan of my brain.
Wow.
No one. And the first thing that happened when I arrived at Rashid Hospital in not Garhoud, near Dubai, maybe I have that wrong, but at Rashid Hospital, they took a scan.
And that was
if
the
they
life-saving
had done
moment for you.
this so many years ago, yeah, exactly. If they had done it so many years ago, my tumor would have been the size of a pea. But when they found it, it was about 2.2 centimeters long, or in like a circle basically, or a marble. And the idea was that they were going to remove it through my nose. And jokingly, I said, no way, because I scuba dive and I don't want you to go up my nose. I imagine a PCR test to the max. I was like, it's not going to happen. And then I said, I'd much rather you do a craniotomy, where they basically take a chunk of your skull out of your head, but they have to cut you open here, which is why I look like I fought a shark, basically. That's what happened.
That's a good story. How surreal was it to see a tumor this size in your brain?
It's still surreal now. I still have, it's still surreal now. The ironic thing is that once they told me exactly what was going to happen, the tumor ended up bursting. I don't know how, but it doubled in size and it burst, and it started to make, I don't know if it was the tumor that was bleeding or my brain that was bleeding. So they were like, okay, Tumour hospital, let's go in LA. Yeah, it got super serious. And then by this time, the doctors had already convinced me that the best way to do the operation was through the nose, so I had agreed. But now all of a sudden they went back on their word and say, no, we have to cut your head open. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
No, I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. And then...
So from finding out that you had a tumor into the surgery, a very short time scale.
Yeah, I found out on the 12th of November, and the actual surgery was done on the 29th of December. Technically, it could have been done sooner, but for reasons I don't know, it wasn't done. But it doesn't matter. The important thing is that it was done. And it was done by a doctor from, he's actually Syrian. His name's Mohammed Asher, Dr. Mohammed Asher, thank you so much. He didn't only save my life, he literally the other day just operated on a 60-year-old lady from Iraq and pulled out 2 tumors from her head and 2 tumors from her neck, which was a 22-hour surgery. Like, there are no words to describe how thankful I am for him. When I saw him and he came to me, he was the only doctor who didn't look at me like I was gone, or that, like, he looked at me like, oh, you're just another person, it's fine, we'll get this done. And that's why when I saw him, I was like, okay, I'm yours. My only job is to get myself to the operating theater.
Was there any debate in your mind, or is there a question about not doing surgery, or it was 100% this needs to happen, or
they didn't give me a second option. They said it has to come out, and I didn't actually tell them about my uncle.
My next question is this hereditary?
No, it's from traumatic experiences. It's from stress. Yeah, so guys, if you lead a stressful life or you've had trauma in your life, if I had known about this before, I definitely would have taken myself to the hospital to get checked out, because you never know. I think I always say to people, like, in the olden days, life was a bit... it was tough, but it was less stressful. In these days, we never have an opportunity to relax. And I think that's why over the last couple of years, it just pretty much exploded in my brain. But luckily, I'm here, touch wood. Yeah,
you said it.
It doesn't have to be real wood.
So let's move forward a little bit then. Post-surgery, are you relaxing? Are you learning ways to find a way that you can live a less stressful life?
Well, let's just say I've broken every rule that the doctor gave me, because I live here alone without family. So he told me to relax. He told me, don't do this, don't do that, but I have to still go to university, and I have to find new work now, because I can't teach scuba diving anymore or teach sports, because technically speaking, the brain that they removed, or this part of the skull that they removed, is not 100% attached yet. It will take at least 3 months for it to be, then I can go in for a scan to see if it's actually properly attached again. So most of the time, I'm just walking a lot. I am going back to the gym, so I apologize to my doctor for that. But mainly the reason I'm in the gym is, actually
I apologize to my doctor.
No, because...
Is he okay with you going back to the gym?
He said just lift light weights. The reason I'm back in the gym is for 2 reasons. Is one, to be around people I know, which is really important right now, because having a brain surgery or having your head removed, your skull removed, your brain tells you, it puts you through some really dark stuff. Let's just say that. So the more I'm around people, the better my recovery. But when I'm alone at home, when that sun goes down, it's dark. But it's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And yeah, so anyway, sorry, when I'm in the gym, I just lift light weights. It's just mainly because I want to have that routine to tell myself that I'm not broken.
Is there, you say that when the sun goes down, it gets dark, so it's very tricky, but is it a healing process?
It's a healing process. It's something to do with the medication, which I'm trying to, I've kind of stopped it now, which might be another reason that I've started to shake, because in the last 3 months, I've taken more medication than my whole life put together.
You've had your brain...
Yeah.
You've had, his head has been opened and a tumour removed. So what you've been through for so many of us is unimaginable. So the fact that you're sitting here today and telling your story as a standalone is amazing. You should be so proud of that. And the fact that you're pushing to get back to the gym because you want to be around people, you should be so proud of that. It's amazing. And like you said as well, you don't have family here. So going into a surgery like that without your family here, what was that like?
It was fun. It was weird, actually. I had 2 close friends that I allowed next to me all the time. Since then, I apologize to both of you, but I've pushed everyone away because I don't want to see people. What I'm going through right now is quite dark, and I don't want to see the closest people to me see me go through this.
They want to be there.
It doesn't matter. I can't let people see this because what I see is going to stick with me forever, and I don't think people want that in their brain, in their mind. You
want to help close friends. They want to help their friends. They want to be there. They want to have those conversations with you.
Yes, I know. I'm gradually.
That's the hardest thing.
No, actually, some people don't necessarily understand that a brain surgery is not the same as a broken foot. So the conversation that you have with people is different. Yeah, it is what it is. Luckily, I made it out of it. The actual funny thing is the surgery was the easiest part, even though I thought it would be the hardest.
How so?
Because my only job was to get myself to the surgery table, and that's what I told my doctor. I said, my job is to get myself on the table, and that's it. So when I arrived at Al Tawam Hospital in Al-Ain, I was actually, in my mind, I was checking into Emirates Airlines. And I was singing, I'm going on a jet plane, I don't know if I'll be back again.
The Armageddon song?
Yeah, is it an Armageddon song? Yeah, because...
It's connected to that movie when, things are going crazy.
Yeah, everyone was telling me, think about tomorrow, think about going on holiday. I'm like, dude, I need a clear mind. And when I got into the operating theater, the doctor gave me an anesthesia. And apparently, I just sat there looking at him as if nothing had happened. They said, Mike? I said, yeah, I'm still here. Do I need another one? And he had to give me 2 because I was so awake, or I understood so much of what was about to happen that I wasn't. For some reason the anesthesia had no effect on me. But when I woke up, I'm telling you, I've never been in so much pain in my entire life. I woke up and I felt like something had exploded in my brain, and I remember saying to the nurse, "Can I have some painkillers, please?" And she said, "No, the doctor's not here." And my friend Khalifa was with me. It's the first time he ever heard me say a bad word. And I said, "Khalifa, is your car here?" He said, "Yes." I said, if you don't tell that nurse to get me to get me medicine, I'm gonna smash your car. But apparently, it's quite normal once you've come out of anesthesia to say all these things. And he was like, "Astaghfirullah, how could you say that?"
You were in pain and you needed the meds quickly, you know.
But it was, it was super hard. And actually, it's now that's the hardest part because my brain is I'm only 60% of what I used to be. It's going to take at least 6 months to start moving forward again. And it could even take up to 2 years to have a full recovery, but I might not fully recover. I might always have a glitch, as I mentioned to you on Instagram.
What does that mean?
Like, my brain isn't always there. So sometimes I actually have a very photographic memory. And now when I try to think of things, I have to be like, where's that photo in my brain? Like, the glitch is there. Because my brain, since the operation, it's like my brain has reorganized everything, reorganized my brain, and now I'm trying to find everything. And it's just it's pretty weird, actually.
Well, like you said, getting to the surgery was the easiest part, and now you're on that difficult road to recovery. But it's a medical journey, right? So the help should be there to help you. Should be there to get you through it.
Well, I've been trying to get in touch with the doctors for 6 weeks, so call me.
Okay.
Because no, I have to. I'm supposed to be going in for blood tests and eye tests because usually the tumor, when it's behind your eyes, it can affect your eyes. And when I woke up from the surgery, I was 50% blind in this eye, so it was like white, and I couldn't move it to the right. Now I still can't move it fully right, so we're working on that. And I have to take blood tests to check my hormones because the pituitary gland could be. I have a feeling that my hormones are very imbalanced, which is again why I could be shaking or why I'm always cold. So it's a lot of stuff to be going through, which is why I've pushed people away because throughout the day I can always change. My mood can always change. Not in a bad way. Just I don't want to always have to feel that I need to explain myself. And I also don't want my friends to see me by glitches, like every time I get hit or I keep changing character throughout the day. I don't think that's nice for them to see.
Like you said, you had 2 great friends who sat through the hardest time with you. And I know for me and my close friends that when you're going through something rough, you don't want them to see you like that. So it's very, very hard, very, very hard to ask a question. It's very, very hard to say something. But you also know that on the other side of it, if it was you and them, you would be there for them.
Oh, if it was me, I would break the door down. But exactly. I've seen a lot more in my life.
But we can't look. At the same time, I know that what you have been through, for so many of us watching here today, we're going to be very touched by your story. But it's incomprehensible. The surgery that you've been through and coming out the other side and trying to heal now is just unmanageable. But your main purpose of coming here, one of them was, I think the main purpose is awareness. If you have a health issue, get yourself checked. But also, you wanted to say thank you to the health services.
Yeah, 100%. If you have even if you don't have it, just go get checked out just to be safe. I had no idea what was in my head until I felt that, until I basically collapsed. And yes, like honestly, to the UAE government, I've never had something happen to me that taken so serious in my life in terms of health. So the fact that I literally went from collapsing in my university to having my tumor removed, and the insurance covered everything, and the communication between Rashid Hospital and Tumour Hospital regarding what was going on was good, and I felt safe. That's why I never left. People kept telling me, go somewhere else to get the operation. I was like, no. I was like, I've heard many good things about Tumour Hospital, which is in Al Ain. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to choose another location over somewhere that's next door to me.
And the fact that they were able to use that scan, the scan, they found the tumor, which literally was life-saving.
This might sound cheesy, but I'm literally only alive because of the people in the UAE that sent me there. So in some way, I don't mean to sound cheesy, but I already said this to my friends. Like, I owe my life to the people who were surrounding me at the time, and also to the health people who like got me through it. Because without you guys, I would technically not be here. So now I kind of have a second life. So I go around, I joke a lot with people. I say, because of my brain, this is happening. I say, I see this, I see that. Just with my friends having fun. It's just to show them that even there is a hard side to what I'm going through, but I'm still trying to have fun with it, even though it's not that easy all the time.
Because you got a shark bite on your head.
Yeah, pretty much. Or when I go to restaurants with my friends, I always say to the waitress, I'll be like, but she'll say, what happened? I'll be like, my friend drove into me with his car. I was like, don't make your friends angry. And my friend's like, wait, what?
You can just imagine the person being like, okay.
Yeah, well, you got it, like I've always been like that.
It's a great, I mean, there's so much going on beneath the surface, but if you can laugh about it, I think it's great.
If I don't laugh, I promise you I will cry. I was actually, I cried yesterday imagining, this sounds silly, but I imagined some of the questions that you might be asking me, because I was trying to run myself through it so I didn't forget anything, because my memory at the moment is glitchy. And I was standing in the elevator and I was like, I imagined that you would ask me, so what about your family? Where are they and all of this? And I burst into tears and I was like, I really need to see my family, because I haven't had the chance to go see them yet because of everything that's happened. And I realized, I think that's something that I have to do soon, because when you're stuck in this whirlwind of emotions and operations and blood tests, sometimes it's not that you forget, but you don't realize that there are people waiting to see you. And I think that's what I need to fix, or that's what I need to go and do.
You have a lot going on. Could they come here?
They can, but I would prefer to go see them, because, like, for example, my sister has a lot of children, and so she can't really travel. And the most important people to me, even though I love all my family, but my sister and her children, my nephews, are like, they are the crosses on my heart. So hopefully I'll be able to go see them soon. But it just depends on what happens every day.
Well, look, it's what the doctor ordered was rest and relaxation. So I'm really hoping that you can take that soon.
I'm trying.
And listen to the doctor and you just continue on this road to recovery.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you sharing your story today. I think a lot of people will be touched, and hopefully if anyone is feeling kind of in any way unwell, to get yourself checked, because Mikey is living proof that that's 100% needed.
Yeah, even if you're feeling 100%, do it anyway, because you never know. I never in a million years imagined I never even knew my uncle passed away from a brain tumor until my mother called me the day and said, it's happening to you now. I said, wait, what? What's happening? She said, well, your uncle passed away from this. I said, wrong time. Wow. So, yeah, so just go do it. You never know.
Thank you very much for your time.
No, it's an honor. I've really enjoyed it. Even though it may seem that I'm nervous, but I'm just shaking because of all this hormonal stuff.
You've mentioned it, but you're very relaxed. You've told the story so well, so we really, really appreciate it.
It was an honor.
And you don't seem nervous. Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. Thank you, Mikey. Bye-bye from me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.